Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tackle an issue that's of particular interest to many in the classic car community, the restoration of the wood trim inside of your vehicle. Now this particular piece belongs to the inside of my Range Rover. It's the center console piece where you have the park reverse neutral drive, and it's seen better days. If I zoom in closer, you could tell that the surfaces are cracked. I mean, part of the delamination you could already see, like I can literally start peeling away pieces. But that's a particular clue. The minute I did that, you could tell that the wood is of high quality, the veneer is in good shape, so I'm gonna work with this. One of the first things that I'm gonna need is a spatula. It's gonna allow me to get into many different crevices and carefully peel away at the delamination. Other tool that I'm gonna use, flathead screwdriver, because it's gonna help me get into tight spaces where I can normally never get. Now for the purpose of filming, I already started to use the flathead screwdriver. I started to pluck away at the part that is holding down the leather shift boot for the low range mechanism in my Range Rover. Now some cars, if this piece actually belongs to a manual transmission vehicle, then you would have a shift boot here and you would have a shift boot there. Now for over here where I'm working, I have 4 clamps that are holding down the leather shift boot. So with my flathead screwdriver, I'm able to carefully move the piece away. And this U-shaped clamp is no longer holding down the shift boot on the opposite end. So I'm gonna do that 3 more times and hopefully I'll be able to get the shift boot off. The 4 clamps off. I need to keep these in a safe place because I need to make sure that I don't lose these, because if I lose them, God only knows what they're gonna cost from Range Rover. So now I'm able to remove the leather shift boot away from the wood. Now, in my particular case, this thing has been baked on for many years. So between sun damage and a little bit of delamination that you can see on the left part of the screen, I can just pry this away and it falls right off. Now I'm gonna keep this leather shift boot in a safe place because I'm gonna need to reuse it later on in the process when I'm completely done with the wood restoration. Now for the parts that become very difficult, I'm gonna have to heat them up in order to take away the power of the glue. So basically with the household iron, or even maybe a chemical stripper, I'm gonna have to resort to that at some point in the process. So far in the process, you could see that this is the remnants of me peeling away at the top layer of pretty much the protective covering of the veneers. So this is supposed to be clear. It's not supposed to have this yellowish opaque appearance. So you could already see progress of what this is gonna look like at the end is gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna look great. All right, so now I'm back. So now if I focus on the wood, I've been able to peel back a lot of the clear coat, and you could start seeing the details, the intricate details of the burl veneer. Now at this point, I haven't gotten all of the veneer off. Like if you see closely over here, I was not able to peel back all the veneer, so there's a lot of clear coat left. So the next step for me at this point is to do a chemical peel, basically a stripper, like a paint stripper that's gonna peel away all of this area right around here. And it's gonna allow me to get all of the veneer off. Or not the veneer, but it's gonna allow me to get all the clear coat off to make sure that I have a smooth finish at the end of the day. So for this next step, what I had to do, I had to get the paint and varnish remover, basically a chemical called methylene chloride. I mean, this thing is a true stripper. I mean, this thing will strip the clothes off your spouse. This thing will destroy anything in sight. And you can tell by the bubbling action, the chemical reaction that's taking place, all of the last remnants of the varnish is gonna be pretty much decimated at this point. So now it's been a waiting game. It's been about half an hour. I'm gonna let it cook up a little bit more. So I only have to go through this process once. Now that the methylene chloride has sat for a while, it is ready to be scraped. And if I had given it the appropriate amount of time, it should scrape like butter on toast. Now watch how this goes. Scrapes right off. Effortless. %100% effortless. I just scrape it right off. Now you have to be careful because breathing in these fumes can be poisonous. So I advise you to seek professional help in the event that you breathe in these fumes or if this comes in contact with your skin. So there you have it. You have the center console wood piece completely stripped of all the varnish, all the clear coat, and it's ready for its restoration. This took a long time, longer than I actually anticipated, but you could start seeing the detail of the veneer. And once you hit that clear coat and once you prepare it well, the wood is gonna speak and it's gonna come to life. Now I have to do a few repairs right around here, and if it proves to be an arduous task, I might end up just layering a brand new piece of veneer that I have coming in the mail. So I'm just gonna see what ends up happening with that piece of veneer, if it's gonna be the right fit for this particular project. But you know, I could definitely repair that. We'll see what happens. But definitely stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. Today's day 2 of the veneer refinish of the center console Range Rover piece. Now, what I keep doing is making sure that I moisturize the top layer of the wood. The reason I'm doing this is because there was some warping in the wood and I'm trying to flatten it back down. If I zoom in closer, this top layer was warped upwards and now it's starting to get closer down because what the cambium fibers of the wood, what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to curve upwards and they're going to try to avoid moisture. For whatever reason, there was moisture underneath the panel. So by putting moisture on the top layer, the layer is going to retract downwards because these cambium fibers like to absorb water. And this is a piece that's been cut off the tree. It's cut off its limbs for about 25 years, at least. So the important part is to re-moisturize the wood so the layers can flatten out. And the more I moisturize it, like over here I notice that there's some warping still. I'm gonna re-moisturize this layer, and what I'm noticing that it's getting closer down to its original form. So by re-moisturizing the wood on the top layer, it's gonna flatten out. This is the same problem that wood floors in a house have. If there's any moisture on the bottom part of the wood, then you're gonna have warping on your hardwood floors. Same concept. So I'm gonna moisturize the top layer so it can flatten out, and then I'll add some wood glue to keep it and create a permanent bond. Now I made a noticing. The minute that I moisturize this wood, I could see the details in the wood. I could see that there's different details that I hadn't noticed before until I added water to this wood. So My original intention was that I was gonna put a brand new layer of veneer, but I think I'm gonna save this piece. I mean, this veneer is too pretty to just throw by the wayside, so I'm gonna make sure that I at least give this one a chance. And if this veneer doesn't work and it doesn't appear to be top-notch quality, then I'll start from scratch and I'll do the whole process over. But I at least have to give this wood veneer a chance, because as soon as I add water to the wood surface, I'm noticing that it comes to life. So yeah, that's the plan. All right. Now, if you take a look at what I did over here, on the pieces where some of the veneer was missing, I cut out 2 small blocks of wood, I mean microscopic pieces of wood, and I filled it in. Now, right now it's noticeable, but I had to trim it to size and had to make sure that it was completely level on all accounts. Now, it's not 100% level, but the minute that I hit it with some wood filler and some magic marker, you won't even notice that these pieces were there and they're not original to the veneer. So it just takes a little bit of creativity and innovation in order to get this looking right. Well, this is the second day, and I got this panel as flat as I could possibly get it. I corrected a lot of the areas where eventually it'll be glossed over with the polyurethane coating, and I used a detail pencil as well as a wood shop pencil in order to make sure that I could get this area as best corrected as possible. Now, the skateboard ramp, because it kind of looks like a skateboard, the skateboard ramp wood veneer center console piece is now ready for the polyurethane coating. It's as flat as I could get it, and once it's installed, the areas where it's lifting up may not even be visible. All right, this is day 3, and now I'm ready to spray down this center panel in the clear gloss polyurethane coating, and it's lasted 25 years so far, so now it'll go another 25. Alright, I sprayed on several coats, and you will notice that it has a smoky appearance, and in certain areas it looks like it's gonna bubble. Do not be afraid of this. This is just the wood in the manner in which it's reacting. It's gonna have a smoky glazy appearance, and eventually it'll start to clear and dry in a specific way, and it'll appear closer to this appearance up top. However, over time, the smoky appearance will dissipate, and you just have to let it dry between coats and be very patient, because this is a process that is time consuming, so you have to be very patient. Alright, so if we take a closer look, the first coat is done. However, this is a long process. So this is only step 1, and eventually we're gonna add more coats and more coats and more coats, because we want that gleaming shine to be an even surface. We want it to have a very flattened surface. There's gonna be some intermittent sanding between the layers once it dries for about 72 hours, so I could get that flat finish, that desirable high gloss finish. So this is only a part of the process, but the first step is already starting to look really good. and all that cloudiness that I had mentioned before is no longer present.